Hello and welcome to this video of the 30 Days of Etsy Challenge. So in this video, we're going to go through how to pick the perfect name for your Etsy shop so that you can set your shop up for success. Now, I just want to make a note here on the perfect name, okay? Now, you do want to take a bit of thought into creating your name, but please note that this isn't set in stone, okay? If you decide that you hate the name and you want to give it a change, you can. If you decide that you absolutely hate the name that you've chosen and you want to change it, no problems. You can make a change. I think you can make up to one change without Etsy coming in and going, oh, what are you doing changing your shop name? Okay, so if you don't like that name, scrap it and start again with a fresh one, no problems. But if you do want to change it a third or fourth time, you'll probably have to contact Etsy directly to change the name, okay? So no pressure here. Okay, so I do have a few tips for you that will help you name your Etsy store. So try to add one of your searchable keywords in your Etsy name, if it's possible. So for example, if you're planning on selling personalized baby onesies, what you want to do is you want to try and incorporate the keyword baby in the name of your Etsy shop. Okay, so it could be like funky baby clothing shop, for example. Okay, so if you can put the keyword into your Etsy shop, that would be great. But if not, no worries. Just try and create a store name that will actually relate to the products you're going to sell. Now, you also want to try avoid adding your own personal name into the Etsy shop name, because generally your name isn't going to attract your ideal customer. So for example, a shop named Hannah's Handmade Goodies only tells me that the store owner name is Hannah, but it doesn't really tell me what's actually sold in the shop, okay? So for example, in my shop, I didn't go ahead and call it Alicia's Template Shop. Now, for the shop that I created, Penny Street Studio, you're probably thinking, well, Alicia, you don't really have what the shop is all about in your title. And you're correct. If I could go back in time, I would change up the name of my shop a little bit. So that's why I'm giving you this advice now, because I've actually done this. And even though it's not a mistake and it's not a bad name, I just would perhaps put in the word graphics or template, something like that, into the store name. That way, when people looked at it, they knew exactly what I was selling in my shop. But if you do want a little bit of a backstory on why I did choose Penny Street Studio, it's actually because I was born in a house that was on a street called Penny Street. It was actually my childhood home, and it just really is something quite special to me. And I always wanted to create a business that was named around that home. So if you wanted to go ahead and do something like that, if it means something to you, something special to you, then I'm not telling you to scrap, your big dreams. I want you to do what feels right for you, okay? But these are just a couple of tips that might help you to get more sales in your Etsy shop. Another thing you want to try and avoid is being clever, cutesy, or quirky with your name. So avoid purposely misspelling words as well, as this can make it really difficult for your customers to find you. So it's important to keep your name simple and easy to recognize. So I've got an example here. You don't want to call your name the Cool Kids Clothing Shop, right? With all K's instead of C's. Because if you say that to somebody and you say, oh yes, my shop's called Cool Kids Clothing, you can go look it up in Etsy. Well, automatically they're going to go and put Cool Kids Clothing all spelt with a C, right? So they're never ever going to find your shop. So just remember this when you're thinking about creating your name. Now, a really effective way to come up with your Etsy shop name is to just brainstorm a whole heap of different words or keywords that you think might be suitable for your Etsy shop name. So the best way to do this is actually just to get out a spreadsheet and just brain dump everything out onto this spreadsheet. So I'll show you now how I use a spreadsheet to brainstorm the perfect name for my Etsy shop. Okay, so what I've done here is I've opened up my Google Docs and I've opened up a brand new spreadsheet. And I've just named it here the Etsy shop name Brainstorm. You can name it whatever you like. That's not what's important here. What's important is just getting all the ideas out of your brain and onto paper or onto a spreadsheet. So that way you can try and figure out what kind of Etsy shop name you would like. And that way you can commit to something and then get your Etsy shop going. Okay, so you can see here I've got 3 different columns. I've got brain dump here. So this is where you just want to dump all the things, all the ideas, all the names that come to your mind and then dump them here in the column. Then I've got a column that says words I like. So what I'll do is after I've done my brain dump, what I'll do is I'll just copy the ones that I like, the words that I like, and I will paste them here into this column. So that way it's kind of breaking it down. So I've gone from, a big group or a big list of words here in the brain dump, and then I'm narrowing it down to words I like here. And then here where it says shop name ideas, here is where I want to take some of these words and then put them together. I don't know, just kind of have a look to see what I like and then just write a couple of shop name ideas here in this column. That way we can narrow it down even further to finally reach the name that we like. Okay, so I'm just going to go through a quick little example here. I'm not going to spend too much time on here because I don't want this video to go on forever. But this is just so you get a general idea of what you can do for your own Etsy shop. So for my Etsy shop, I'm going to be creating, like I mentioned, Etsy shop branding templates that can be edited in Canva. So let's start brain dumping some words. So they are going to be for Etsy shop makers. So I'm going to put in here shop and makers. They're going to be products that are templates. Now, actually, before I continue, I just want to make another note on your Etsy shop name. Now, you want to be careful of any trademark issues or copyright infringements. Now, I am by no means a lawyer here, but try and avoid using names that are associated with other businesses. So, for example, for my Etsy shop, I'm going to be selling templates to brand your Etsy shop, but I definitely don't want to use Etsy in the name of my shop itself. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that I could get into trouble for using the word Etsy in my own Etsy shop. I don't want to come across as, a partner of Etsy, for example. Or another example, if you were, doing Disney-inspired products in your shop, you definitely don't want to be using the name Disney in your Etsy shop, or you don't want to be using their logos or any of their graphics. Okay, so just keep that in mind when you're naming your shop. Okay, now back to this brain dump. So we've got shop, we've got makers, templates, we've got graphics, branding, brand, we've got designer or design. Maybe I want to have a think about the people that might be buying my templates. They could be perhaps creative. So what you want to do is put yourself in your customer's shoes and think about the things that they might be searching for when they're looking for your products. Okay, so I'm just going to stop that there, but you could go on for forever and ever and ever, okay? But just for this example, I'm just going to copy a few words over that I like and might use in my shop name. So I like makers, so let's just drag that across. I like brand. I do like creative. I also like shop. I think having shop in there might be a little bit interesting. Okay, I think I like templates as well. I might actually get rid of creative. Let's remove that. Okay, so here's just a few of the words that I liked from this list. And now I just want to go over here to shop name ideas. So if I wanted to incorporate some of these words, maybe I could call it the Makers Branding Shop. Okay, so you can see how I've gotten this big list here where it says brain dump, and I've taken it and narrowed it down into words I like, and now I've created a shop name that I might use for my new Etsy shop. So the Maker's Branding Shop, it's who it is for, who the products are for, what they are, and it's a branding shop. So yeah, I think that kind of fits really well with what I'll be selling in my shop. Okay, so there you go. There's a simple way to help you narrow down the perfect shop name for your Etsy store. Okay, I hope you find this useful, and I will see you tomorrow for the next video in the 30 Days of Etsy Challenge. Okay, bye for now.